In 1995, a peculiar incident unfolded in Pittsburgh when an individual brazenly robbed two banks in the full light of day. What set this robber apart was his audacious approach. He made no effort to conceal his identity with a mask or disguise. Astonishingly, he even flashed a smile at the surveillance cameras before calmly exiting each bank. Unsurprisingly, the authorities swiftly located and apprehended the culprit later that evening. What makes this case even more intriguing is the bewildering statement he made when he was handcuffed. He muttered, "But I wore the juice." It turns out that this bank robber believed that smearing lemon juice on his face would render him invisible to the bank's security cameras. Even more astonishing was the fact that he held a high degree of confidence in this absurd notion. His reasoning hinged on the chemical properties of lemon juice, which are used in invisible ink. He genuinely believed that this citrus concoction would render him invisible to the bank's security cameras. It goes without saying that this line of thinking was patently illogical. What's particularly captivating is that even after the police presented him with the footage of his unsuccessful heist, he remained genuinely surprised that his plan had failed, even going so far as to question the authenticity of the video evidence. In the end, the police concluded that this man was neither mentally unstable nor under the influence of drugs. He was simply profoundly misinformed and mistaken. This amusing robbery incident piqued the interest of two social psychologists, Dunning and Kruger, prompting them to delve deeper into this intriguing phenomenon. Of particular interest to them was the unshakable confidence exhibited by this bank robber, who believed that lemon juice could obstruct security cameras effectively. To investigate this phenomenon in a controlled setting, Dunning and Kruger conducted experiments involving a group of undergraduate students, evaluating them across several categories, including grammatical writing, logical reasoning, and a sense of humor. Upon obtaining the test scores, they asked each student to estimate their overall performance and how they compared to their peers. It was during this phase that Dunning and Kruger unearthed a fascinating discovery. They found that the students who performed the worst on these cognitive tasks consistently overestimated their abilities, often by a significant margin. In essence, they believed they had scored above the average, even when their actual scores were among the lowest. These individuals not only lacked competence in these areas, but were also blissfully ignorant of their own ineptitude. Conversely, the students who scored the highest had a more accurate perception of their abilities. However, they made a different cognitive error. Paradoxically, they tended to underestimate their own performance. While they recognized that they outperformed the average test taker, they erroneously assumed that the test was equally effortless for everyone else. They remained unaware that their abilities placed them in the top percentile of test takers. This intriguing psychological phenomenon is now widely recognized as the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Essentially, it reveals that individuals with lower abilities often lack the competence needed to recognize their own inadequacy or lack of knowledge. Their limited self-awareness often results in an overestimation of their own capabilities. This phenomenon becomes particularly evident when we examine the graph I have displayed here. People with minimal skills or knowledge tend to exhibit an inflated sense of confidence. However, as one becomes more versed in a particular field, this unwavering confidence starts to wane. Only when a person reaches a level of skill above the average does their confidence in that particular area begin to rise once again. It's crucial to note that the Dunning-Kruger effect isn't confined solely to cognitive tasks. Interestingly, this pattern seems to transcend specific skills or activities. Regardless of the skill in question, the less a person knows about it, the more likely they are to overestimate their competence or knowledge. We can witness the Dunning-Kruger effect, even in entertainment, such as talent shows like American Idol. During auditions, a mix of talented and untalented contestants is paraded before the judges. Those who lack musical prowess often remain blissfully unaware of their limitations, leading to genuine disappointment when they are rejected. This phenomenon underscores our inherent difficulty in accurately assessing our own abilities. In fact, a majority of individuals tend to believe they are superior to the average. Astonishingly, 88% of people consider themselves better drivers than the majority of others, with even elderly individuals ranking themselves among the elite on the road. A more intriguing example can be found in academia, where a whopping 94% of professors assume they outperform their colleagues. These instances reveal our inclination to rate ourselves above others to an extent that defies statistical reality. But why does having less skill lead to greater confidence in one's abilities? Let me illustrate this for you. Meet Noah, a budding amateur photographer. This box here represents his knowledge of photography, and this larger box signifies how vast he perceives the field to be. According to his perspective, he confidently places himself in the upper echelon of all photographers. However, let's introduce him to a professional photographer, someone with 7 years of experience who still acknowledges that they have much to learn. Now, let's delve deeper into this scenario. This seasoned photographer possesses a substantial knowledge of photography, represented by this much. He is well aware of the vastness of the field, with this indicating the extent of what there is to learn. Importantly, because of his expertise, he recognizes the existence of this gray area, denoting what he doesn't yet know. Contrastingly, Noah, our amateur photographer, remains blissfully unaware of this gray area. This disparity in awareness sheds light on why Noah exudes such confidence in his abilities. He simply doesn't comprehend how much he doesn't know. With only a modest grasp of the subject, he perceives photography as far less extensive than it truly is. This lack of awareness about what he doesn't know leads him to believe that he knows approximately 90% of photography. Meanwhile, experts tend to possess a clearer understanding of their own knowledge levels. However, they often commit a different error in judgment. They assume that everyone else shares their level of expertise, largely due to the unwarranted confidence displayed by others. In the case of our professional photographer, he recognizes that he knows about 70% of the field. However, if he were to encounter someone like Noah, he might underestimate his own proficiency, as 90% seems superior to 70%. The Dunning-Kruger Effect, as we've seen, is something that can affect us all. But how can we shield ourselves from falling into this cognitive trap? The solution lies in a relentless pursuit of knowledge. No one is expected to possess all-encompassing wisdom. Insisting on always being right is a clear indicator of folly. It appears that the more we learn, the more we comprehend how vast and intricate our areas of interest truly are. We come to realize how much we don't yet understand. It's a beautiful paradox. The deeper we delve, the less we feel we truly know. Conversely, individuals who merely skim the surface of their pursuits may never fathom the depth of knowledge that remains unexplored. In the Dunning-Kruger experiment, less skilled or competent students significantly improved their ability to accurately estimate their test results after receiving minimal guidance on their deficiencies. Having a mentor or someone more knowledgeable guide, you can be invaluable. So the next time you're brimming with confidence about your expertise in a particular subject, take a moment to reassess. You may find that you've fallen prey to the Dunning-Kruger effect, and there's a world of knowledge yet to discover. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. By doing so, you will receive continuous updates featuring content aimed at assisting you in surpassing your previous self